5 seconds remaining.
Could be mid as well. I personally think it makes more sense if that's the response to Pango. Like, I'm just gonna get focus fire on the roll every fight, just kill him. Whereas like the Gale Force, what is it called? I think that's what it's called.
The shot
doesn't really work against Pango's roll, right? So it's not countering him in that regard. But maybe they just like the hero. I don't know. We'll find out. It's too early to tell what they're thinking here.
Definitely. RSG also ban out Dawn, so they're taking, I guess, a page out of T1's book in terms of
They're just not letting them have it again.
They're banning things that they really just don't want to come up against after that. Game number 2.
Yep. We lost Ember, ban Ember. We lost to Marcy, ban Marcy. We lost to Dawn, ban Dawn.
And T1 is still doing the same. We lost to Kalo, we lost to Bloodseeker, ban them both.
Yep. So the cool thing about that is we're gonna get like a completely different type of game. It's forcing both teams to play something new that they haven't previously won with.
You say that, we're going to see a DK pick probably.
Yeah, I say I don't like DK, but he wins every game, so whatever.
We'll see it this game, and you'll be like, yeah, I love the DK here, and he'll end up losing.
I hope RSC just ban the DK, because I think it fits T1's draft pretty well. Gives you something to kind of frontline another stun. But
anything else you feel might be necessary to ban?
I mean, carry pool is wide open right now. Okay, ban monkey. That's, I guess, more the carry monkey maybe they're worried about. Also, I mean, just could be a hero that goes to whichever lane Pen goes in and could cause some problems.
Yeah, it's definitely good. The arena, on top of the roll, it kills the Pango pretty quick.
10 seconds
The
remaining.
Wukong's not the arena, that's Mars. But Mars is still in the pool, speaking of Mars.
5 seconds
I wonder if we're
remaining.
going to see another Mars. Definitely not from Cuckoo, I think, but...
Yeah, and usually Zhao used the one playing the Pengo too, so maybe that means
okay.
no Mars. Yeah, they excellent can play the Pengo, but like I'd say 89% it's offlane.
Okay. A rare game where Pango gets through and no Mars. Seems like always one of the teams that's like, we'll pick Mars every game, and the other team like just won't touch it at all in these games. It's quite interesting.
What position do you hope RSG pick up here? Like, what role do you want them to fill?
Support if this Pango is not... Like, if they're not thinking about Pango support at all, they should just pick their 5 right now. Wyvern, Bane, something to cancel. More Black Hole Annoyance could be okay. They don't really have to do that, though.
They're thinking quite some time on it.
There's the Wyvern. So this is like just F you to the Enigma game. Like, he's not like Black Hole looks really hard.
Let's make Enigma 5 position or something now. Yeah, this is gonna be like a Seb style greedy Wind Ranger. One thing, I think it was last tour I cast RSG, and Excellent does play mid Rubik. I don't think it necessarily is mid Rubik, but it could come out.
Alright. Well, there's the Tiny.
Maybe not now versus TA.
Templar Assassin.
Templar. Interesting. So Tiny is pretty common versus Pango in like mid matchup. But I know a lot of carry Tiny players hated playing versus Pango because of the disarm later, but most likely won't be a carry, so
10 seconds
will it be,
remaining.
I assume it's gonna be mid, because like what else can they do with these combination
5
of
seconds
heroes?
remaining.
Yeah, I get Tiny T. I guess could be 1-2 position, like swap back and forth maybe, but
T1's
Tiny carries
turn
kind
to
of disappeared.
Yeah. It's a, on paper, really good TB pick. Good
Radiant
versus the
team
Tiny.
ban.
Really good versus TAT. Hates playing versus Illusions. It just really comes down to how will Terrorblade's lane look like, and will he just be farming as his team crumbles?
What's the ideal lane for TB to go into?
He likes playing against heroes like
10 seconds
Slardar
remaining.
and Venomancer, where you can use the Reflect or just your high armor
T1's
to like deal with the
turn to
laning.
ban.
So far, like Wind Ranger, it's pretty good versus Wind Ranger in lane to some degree. I don't know, they buffed this hero. His Metamorphosis does like 30 damage now, up from 15. So maybe he's just a bit stronger laner than previously, and he
10
might not have
seconds
issues.
remaining.
But we'll see. They can still mix
5
things up if
seconds
they want to.
remaining.
I don't know if they can fit a
Radiant
Darkseer in their
team
lineup, but
ban.
that'd be really cool for them against the Wyvern and the Terrorblade. They have a wombo combo.
Cuckoo left the room. He's off getting his hero's being picked, I guess. I don't know, maybe not, but he was peacing out. So he trusts March to pick him something he's
10
good at, I
seconds
guess.
Remaining.
Yeah, I'd like to see like tiny Darkseer in the off lane,
5
Wind
seconds
Ranger mid,
remaining.
and just do like some T8 Nigma 5 this game, since this game is really bad for
T1's
Nigma.
turn to pick.
Give him the lowest farm priority.
It makes sense to shuffle things around that way.
And they're banning Puck Zeus, expecting some kind of TB answer, because, yeah, right now, not a whole lot. You generally need that kind of magic burst, and ideally something that clears illusions when TB gets picked
10
up, so
seconds remaining.
your T1...
I mean, the wall is really good versus TB.
Yeah.
So I'm suggesting
5
that.
seconds remaining.
Amongst all players, TB players, they just... Yeah, Zeus is annoying to play against for sure. Like
Radiant
Tinker is
team
as well, but Darkseer is up there in like the top 3 hardest heroes to play is first as a TB.
So, is it... I'm imagining this is Cuckoo Wind Ranger, maybe? Or even... is Cuckoo playing Core Enigma?
I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, considering how bad of an Enigma game this is.
Seconds remaining.
I mean, he might just go Wraith Pact and just,
5
Crimson Guard or
seconds
something like
remaining.
that and just not worry about the black hole. It's possible.
Is there anything on T1's lineup RSG should be afraid of right now?
Afraid of? Not they have
Like
their
anything that they
bases
need
like
to
covered.
answer.
They just have to answer this Void Spirit now, and there it is.
You may now select
I'm very
your
curious on
heroes.
what their 4, 5, and 3 is gonna be. It's gonna be. They'll show us in a second, but all right, 5 tiny,
Yep.
3
3
Enigma.
Enigma.
Okay.
Interesting. Interesting. Mike and John, get in here. You guys lied to me. You said it was going to be the last time I'd see you in Game 2, but here we are in a Game 3. You got your wishes. So, Mike, you can break it down for me first.
I'm so scared to say anything. We've been wrong the whole day. Like, every team that we comment on just ends up, like, losing if we're positive. So I'm very, very scared to say anything. I feel like we should hope for the upset here and just jinx T1. So I think T1's got a fantastic draft here. The Wind Ranger can't fail at all. I think this Enigma is going to go off. It's a great draft for T1.
Yeah, I think T1 should be able to get what they want. They'll somehow make the offlane Enigma work. Cuckoo is just going to do some work, and Zephyr is going to be really active in Wind Ranger. So maybe they can make it happen. RSG, going to have to try hard for this one, I guess.
Are you both going to go all in on this curse and say, yeah, T1, look great?
I'm going to go RSG.
Okay.
I'm not embracing the curse. I'm going to go RSG. If anything, I've learned to just go against the casters. So it's served me well in the past. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, John. Making me look smart.
I have no idea what's gonna happen. It's gonna be chaotic, and somebody's gonna win.
All you have to do is just keep watching as this Game 3 between RSG and T1 is kicking off.
Certainly is. Thank you very much. Now, we do go into game number 3 between T1 and RSG. And John, I'm not trying to jinx anyone. We're just idiots. That's the problem. We're just not smart enough to actually predict drafts. But we are smart enough to cast some Dota, apparently. So there you go.
Well, I would hope so, Mike. I wouldn't claim that we're smart enough, but we
Well, I
are
suppose-
here, and we'll do what we can.
It's not a
Bear with
prerequisite,
us.
I guess. Yeah.
It doesn't seem
You
to
don't
be
really have
Mike.
to
I
be
mean,
smart. You just have to shout into a microphone.
Exactly it. Exactly it. As long as you have a working tongue, I guess, and you can get a job casting, I suppose, Mikey. Brains
Very
turned off. I'm ready to just watch.
Excellent. We aren't going to have a level 1 team fight, I don't think, here. RSG and T1, they're probably going to sit back and relax a little bit. You never know, though. On RSG, I'd say still have the better level 1 timing. That's kind of negligible. It seems like both teams would rather not force a level 1 team fight. Talk to me about drafts, though, John. We didn't get to talk much about
30
the drafts.
seconds to battle.
What are you thinking here? Like, do you think RSG have what it takes to pull off a victory? Do you think T1 are just going to smash them again in Game 3? What do you think?
I do like RSG's draft more. Like, to be completely honest, RSG's draft looks a little bit more well-rounded. They've got good ways to clear out Black Hole. They've always got the capability to steal it with Roger on his Rubik. I like the Winter Wyvern here as well up against TA pick. You have a lot going for you on RSG's end, so I feel like their condition of winning out here feels a lot easier to accomplish, but T1's shown us they can make these weirder drafts work sometimes.
Oh, toss back. Xiao Yu, he's going to be fine. Whitemon actually the one in trouble, and he's going to drop. Exi Learn, that's a great start for the Leshrac. Mid lane. Even MKS chasing down Carl here on the Void Spirit just to make his life a little bit harder. And I suppose, John, I shouldn't even comment on the first blood because apparently it was coming up. Well, there you go.
Yeah, they force the issue, they get the kill. Really good start for Exeler now to play around on his mid. Mid matchup for Carl. Not the comfiest for Void Spirit. You can't really block off the magic damage coming out. So you are going to feel really good here for Exeler. Carl can still clear out the creep wave fairly well, but you always have to watch for that threat now from Exeler. Do walk up. The stun flies on with the lightning storm. Lots of damage can come through, and Carl can't really stop that.
Certainly not. We should have looked at the side lanes as well. Of course, spot lane, MKS and Roger against Cuckoo. And of course, well, actually, hold that thought. There's going to be a bit of a toss-up top lane, but no, he's going to be fine. Of course, he was going to be with Zephyr with the on the Wind Rangers. The Enigma Wind Ranger lane, it's a bit of a weird one. Not something you see too often. Obviously, you know, Wind Ranger was performing very well at the Stockholm Major. Seb ruining my pubs, as always. How do you feel about the laning stage, though, for T1 in particular? Like, do you agree with this kind of, this off lane?
Nah, it feels a lot stronger here for RSG. MKS should have a steady time farming. You're already seeing that in the CS. Cuckoo's doing a good job just pulling back his Eidolons, though. He's always going to be able to at least deny a range creep every now and again, so should still be able to be annoying up against MKS. But to really stop the Terrorblade farm, doesn't quite feel like it. Unless they can maybe hook up with, say, Malefice into a good shackle.
Mid lane, Exilern, he might have another kill on his hands, and he does. Landing a very nice split earth onto the Void Spirit. He will take him out. That is a second kill already for Exilern.
Yeah, it's just a tough lane for Carl to manage. You can't really do too much to stop that output. You don't have a shield that stops magic damage, and you are a melee matchup against the Lesh, so he's just going to be able to right-click spam you, spam Lightning Storm, spam the stun. Really easy setup. Top lane as well for T1 is going pretty slow.
They're in massive trouble right now. I mean, Gabby and Whitemon both dropping so darn low as Sharp Bon really gives it to them with the Winter Wyvern. A hero we haven't seen very often, but if I do remember, Bombi in particular, who is Sharp Bon, really enjoyed playing that Winter Wyvern. Obviously a very good player, and it's yet to be seen how great the Wyvern is in this current patch, but at least for now, it is still very lane dominant. It's mid lane. Oh boy. Carl's died again, John. Exilern 3-0-0 now, and that's a great start for a Leshrac, John. He's got 1 kill per minute so far.
He's done a great job of just harassing out, dominating this lane over Carl. A full level ahead now. Gets his bottle top up every time on the Water Rune, and it's tough for the Void Spirit. Like, this is just not a winning lane you can really play against all too well. We have seen some Void Spirits kind of even out. When you lose First Blood, though, it doesn't feel great. As Zephyr starts to drop low, the trades across the map just not favoring T1.
Needs 2 more hits now. Roger going for the chase. 1 more might do it. Fairy Fire going to be taken. Roger has a Fade Bolt up in 1. Zephyr still going to try and go for a run, and will make it out with the Wind Run. Bit sad for Roger there, because you did have Exilern running towards the top side of the map rather than the bottom, so you aren't able to pick off the Wind Ranger. Still, I suppose, pretty happy days, though, for RSG at the least. It does seem like everything going quite swimmingly at the moment.
Yeah, it's all kind of lining up. Their early aggression's paying off. They're getting very steady farm on MKS. T1's also getting steady farm on Gabby, despite the kill threats. He hasn't been wiped out yet, so able to keep up on that board here on the TA. I think that's all T1 really needs to secure. Like, Cuckoo's always going to have a stable start. It is
nice
Enigma.
shackle. Zephyr landing a very nice shackle, ensuring Exilern could not turn that team fight around. He'll still get the Water Rune at the top side, but just gonna really make sure that you can get a bit of a comeback coming out for Carl here in the mid lane, because he's still just having such a rough game.
Yeah, it's still slow, still lagging behind a bit in the levels. You're gonna hit 6 now in Exilern. Carl's still waiting for his 5. And without that Astral Step, just feels like he's always gonna be sitting duck for a full commitment here. Chasing onto Whitemon.
Yeah, speaking of sitting ducks, Whitemon probably just going to drop here, though he could try for the Roshan deny. Roshan does get him. Very nice there from Whitemon, just really hugging the edge of the Roshan pit to make sure he could abuse the fog.
And, you know, we all know Whitemon, he does love playing in that Rosh pit. He used to go there at level 1 as they get another kill onto Carl again.
Another one. Zephyr, he'll go for a bit of a trade. Exilern, he's going to man up and turn. Zephyr eventually will back off. John, that's another solo pick off onto Carl. That's a third one in a row.
It's pretty tough going, you know. Interviewing a lot of these teams on Media Day, a lot of them tend to focus in on Carl. Like they want to make him the target. They want to kind of put him off his game and change his mental mindset. And
not again.
RSG doing a good job here.
Carl, he jumped back in, John. Pulse Nova's there. They've got to force the rotations to help out. Carl is going to survive. Whitemon, he'll be there to save the day. Learn dropping low and does finally go down. A high risk, high reward play there from Carl. But my God, did it look like it was going to backfire.
Yeah, he makes it work. Whitemon in the right spot at the right time to get that toss back. They do lose Cuckoo in that solo lane. So you're bleeding a lot of gold now onto MKS, allowing the Terrorblade to have free reign, uncontested, getting that quick farm up. Have to be a bit concerned about that. You will have some decent magic damage to deal with that. Great deny out from Xiao Bonbon as well to cut off Carl's bottle top up. And the emphasis is still on mid. You've got basically 6 to 5 heroes stuck down here every single time. Both sides want to secure that strong start. The side of T1 knows if they give Exelern a little bit of room here, he can get that shove in. Even with level 1 Edict, that tower will melt quick.
Yeah, but T1, they seem to be trying to prepare themselves once again for Exelern making his way over into the mid lane. They aren't really going to be able to get too much damage off. No Diabolic Edict being popped as Carl going to try and jump in, but does not connect the Aether Remnant. Exelern going to be just fine. But you're going to have constantly two supports just kind of roaming in the mid lane now for T1, just trying to ensure that Carl does remain alive.
Yeah, they need to keep Carl alive, and they need to keep that mid-tier 1 alive. Can't allow that push coming in from Exelern, freeing up the side lanes. This is working to Gabby's benefit. RTA hasn't been slowing down up top. Not much Xiao you can really do about that now. No points in the lucky shot as well, looking for the disarm, so just opting to play a farming lane. Same thing for Cuckoo bot. You can't really stop MKS, but MKS, he did find that kill earlier on, but Cuckoo's still finding the EXP at the least and is allowed to build up. In that interim period, Exelern is clearing out some good stacks here. So a lot of gold flowing the way of our Lesh. Level 2 Edict now up. Just need an area to commit on. I think the side of RSG would like to see some of these towers to start to melt.
Oh, Cuckoo in trouble now. Lift up is there. Roger, he might drop, but MKS gets a very nice trade on the TB. Cuckoo just getting taken out prior to that level 6 mark. Now does have it up, but would have preferred to have it up in that team fight. He would have loved that black hole as mid lane. Now Carl again in trouble. Split Earth not going to land this time though. He has his level 6. He'll be able to astral step his way out. And it seems like the reign of Exelern in this mid lane is somewhat over.
It is somewhat. He still has that threat to push, and he's got a nice arcane rune as well to sustain that. Carl's still rocking low. Xiao Bonbon's not backing off.
No, he certainly isn't. Carl wasn't able to juke out the Splinter Blast that was committed there by Xiao Bonbon, and now they can move into that tier 1 mid tower. Level 2 Diabolic Edict still does quite a lot of work here for Exelern, but they are going to force out the glyph first. Back into the mid tier 1 tower they go though. T1, they're the ones that need to find a way to try and defend this. Because you do have a POS 1 TA, so you are very reliant on having that jungle available to you and holding on to the mid tier 1 as long as humanly possible. Meanwhile, top lane Xiao Yu is going to pop the Rolling Thunder. It looks like it was used defensively initially, and well, he is going to be able to just roll his way out. And while all that's happening top lane, the mid lane is still under siege. Gabby is trying to hold on to it, but he can't do it on his own. He needs the help right now. TPs are coming. Whitemon, he'll join in. Exelern, he'll be cold and braced up. Try to heal him back up, but the Aether Remnant is going to land Gabby. He might be able to really clean up as they got Jump on Bond and they've got Exelern. In fact, they've even got Roger. Zephyr, the one to take the double kill on the Wind Ranger, and now Xiao Yu has joined in, but he might be more food to go the way of T1 as the body blocks are there from Carl. Hold him down. Aether Remnant does connect. They've got another. Zephyr with a triple kill on the POS 4 Wind Ranger. In RSG, they have thrown so much gold back the way of T1.
It's a strong start. They overstay their position there on the mid and don't respect that output of the TA early. They do manage to jump into the jungle and start to clear out some of these stacks as well. Roger, Exelern are back up, contesting.
Oh, Gabby, he gets caught out. A very nice pick off to give back the way of the Leshrac is now even Carl. He's got a step charge, he should be okay. While all that was happening, MKS, he just casually comes in and takes over the mid tier 1 tower. just go ahead and take it out. I suppose that is one talking point we haven't really gotten to yet is MKS, he's been free farming this whole time, John.
Dire's top tower.
I
is
mean, he's
under
been free
attack.
farming since the lane. The moment Cuckoo was left alone, found that solo kill, building up on the Terrorblade, already has the Dragonlance flying through, working onto the Manta next. And this Terrorblade's set to have a pretty good time, way above right now. Gabby is keeping up within 300 gold, so it's not too bad for T1. But you do worry about that early timings that MKS can meet. He's a high armor here. It's hard for the TA to press him down. With a few stats in the pool, just a couple points of strength in, and it becomes
Dire's top tower
infinitely
is under
harder for
attack.
Gabby to get on top of that hero. We'll have to see what more T1 can bring out to get Gabby's
Dire's
farm going. They have
structures are
left
fortified.
Cuckoo alone bot once more, just allowing that
Dire's
Enigma to
top
keep that
tower
farm
is
game
under
up.
attack.
Does opt for the Urn and Arcane Boots, so not opting for something like the early Wraith pack, and T1 are smoking up. Carl, Whitemon looking to move around. Might be able to find that kill in Xiao Bon Bon.
Well, they've got the shackle. Xiao Bon Bon should be dropping here, though he will buy himself a little bit of time with the cold embrace. Not so much, though. Eventually, Zephyr should have his way with it. The power shot is going to fly through Zephyr, not giving any kills away to his cause. He'll just take all of them for himself. The top lane, Gabby, he's a much bigger target. Rolling Thunder is going to connect, but they see the TPC incoming. They do not want to fight into this. Whitemon will get stunned up one more time. Cuckoo still trying to go for a bit more, but they are unable to catch anyone. They just don't have the mobility right now to really be able to catch anyone. Without these blinks up, they'll have to back off and let them go.
They didn't have Carl around in the air to try to get the step forward with a Remnant, so no real way of catching
Dire's
forward.
courier has
Do
been
manage to get a
killed.
nice courier snipe here. MKS microing to kill off Carl's refill with the 2 clarities he had on hand. This little bottle top up for Carl, so all's not lost. And an Invis rune. Maybe they can manage to make a play up
Radiant's
top now.
middle tower
TP's
is
out there
under
as well. Just needs to find that angle. 2-step charges up here. Does have enough damage to at least burst someone down.
Whitemon's hanging around as well. They might try into Zhao Yu as he's showing on the map, but instead Roger, he's a much easier target, and he hit the power shot out. The avalanche toss combo, it's just too easy to burst down Roger. Zhao Yu has been kind of left alone though, but Carl is going to continue following up. And MKS even going to show up and hand the Thunder over to Zhao Yu. Barely avoiding the power shot out from Zephyr. And it may have actually been enough had that connected, but it won't.
Great little play from MKS, just looking to save his off lane while just waiting for his camps to respawn on the triangle. They hit a nice spike now as well on XLR and full Eternal Shroud up. So much more durability to the magic damage and a little bit more mana sustain for XLR in the middle of these engagements. Probably wanting maybe one more item up before he's really secure in this game. T1, again, despite the back and forth trades, T1 are still keeping up. Within 1k gold of RSG, Gabby still matching MKS's farm. Everyone else kind of lagging behind, with the exception of Xiao Yu lagging the most behind. Had a slow start in
Radiant
Pangolier.
are scanning.
Smoke up from RSG, starting to look for that invasion, wanting to hunt down
Dire's
Gabby.
middle
You see him down
tower is
bot
under
here.
attack.
Gabby might just back off at the exact right moment. Working towards his own Desolator right now on
Dire's
that
bottom
TA.
tower is under attack.
He's going to have it up rather soon. Sensing something is awry though, he does back off and he should be safe. In fact, TPs are incoming from Carl. But it is cancelled off immediately. Carl, maybe just going a bit too far forward. A bit too obvious there and just easy to connect with the stun for XC Learn.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
That bottom T1 tower is just going to be forfeited the way of it.
Dire's
RSG.
bottom tower has fallen.
T1, I suppose for them with their draft, they are playing a lot greedier. So they're just going to buy more time to keep that farm going.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah,
is
just
under
need
attack.
to build up. They know they've got item spikes lined up here on T1's end. Just have to hold on till the TA's in fighting form. They're going to have a Eul's up on Carl as well. That could be the launching point for T1, having that stable control coming out. And Cuckoo is starting to save up for his blink. Has the Aether Lens up for that added reach on Black Hole Cast and the Malefice, very important. Even the added range in Midnight Pulse can be really nice in catching some heroes juking around. RSG, for their part, I don't think they mind playing the farm war, though. It's still a Terrorblade, it's still a Lesh who's getting some early build-up, and it's an opportunity for Xiao Yu to just catch up, try to save up for his own blink. Vlad's already up, so a nice R to play with, especially for the Terrorblade here. And they still have that threatening team fight from RSG's end. Curse, Rolling Thunder, Stolen Spells from Roger, all can be massive in the middle of this.
Whitemon and Zephyr gonna start hanging around. Xiao Yu, XC Learn, they are there as the left track. Take the banner away, but is gonna be unable to catch anyone here. Zephyr will just run his way out. 7-9. 2K net worth lead still standing for RSG. Most of that sitting on XC Learn. Kalo does show himself in the Void Spirit, but won't make the jump in, of course. Again, I think T1 are just more than happy if RSG are not taking towers off them. Just trying to hold out, buy that time to have those core items up.
Did you think
For now, T1, they just don't seem interested.
Yep. Again, just playing a very defensive game. T1 this time with a draft that kind of does want to take it slow. Maybe would want to try to committing Black Hole, but it's not the easiest game for Cuckoo to ensure it's not going to be stolen by the Rubik, not going to be interrupted by the Winter's Curse or the roll. So that does lead to one of their big teamfight spells just not being able to be leveraged here. The side of RSG still playing aggressively up top.
XE Learn trying to move forward. Shackles won't land there from Zephyr. Carl, move in. Bon may get caught up, but no, they still want the left track. So XE Learn gonna rush forward. Still feeling perfectly fine with that Eternal Shroud. T1, the ones that need to set up a fight is now the Gale has connected from Zephyr, but there's no follow-up to it. So then again, John, we have seen this Enigma Wind Ranger combination quite a lot during that major. Did win a major, in fact, for OG. So T1 believing in it. It's a very nice Shackles does land from Zephyr. MKS already popping his meta, wanting that top T2 tower. T1 looking to play the slow game once again.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
All set for the defense. Xiao Bon and a good angle though. Cuckoo does have a lot of reach with a Black Hole. He finds a good opportunity.
He's got nothing to block off that Winter's Curse, as Whitemon might find Xiao Bon in just a moment. They haven't spotted him out yet. Jackal's not going to land. Winter's Curse out. They've got Whitemon on the Tiny. Cuckoo needs to move his way in. Can't do so quite yet. Xiao Yu, he's going to find him in the tree line. T1, they're in big trouble. Zephyr is going to try and back out. Carl will do the same and does somehow make it. But in the meantime, Cuckoo has been caught. Zephyr does TP up, but you're going to lose the Enigma. And the top T2 tower for that matter. RSG, they get what they came for in the voice lines they've started. T1, just no right being at the top lane. They do end up getting punished heavily.
I mean, it's just so tough for them to work an angle from Black Hole. You saw how patient Cuckoo was trying to be. The moment he saw the roll, he tried to back off, knew that he was in a very tough spot to do anything to contribute to that fight. The only blessing here for T1 is this is a ton of space for Gabby, number 1 in net worth now. The Desolator up and running on RTA. Blink not too far off fighter.
I'm getting a little bit aggressive there on the Tiny, maybe looking for a bit of a toss back with the Tumbler's Toy. Carl will jump in with the Yule Scepter. XE Learn gonna happily move in. There's your Gale Force up, but he's happy to, well, maybe he's not. That's a lot of damage. XE Learn just getting kind of shredded by Gabby. And now a 5-man smoker. And with the Gale Force, I mean, you've got to be careful. At first, it seemed like he wanted to go in, but he saw Gabby and he's like, no, not this time. Roshan started now. T1 with the Desolator up on Gabby can get this done very fast, but they might go for the fight first instead. Carl being caught out with the Rolling Thunder. Xiao Yu, it's a great initiation. Carl is going to get taken out as now they've got Gabby held down on the TA. Sunder, MKS going to connect perfectly as Gabby. And T1 have gone too far. Roger chasing for a bit more, but doesn't have lift available right now. Instead though, Xiao Yu going to keep the fight going. Nice shackle from Zephyr. Will hold him down, but Roger, he's got the Malefice. That'll stun up Cuckoo. Hold him down long enough and he's gone. Oh, T1, they get a little bit too confident. Sad part is, John, that fight happened without XE Learn.
Yeah, I mean, they got a good kill. They tried to force more out of it instead of going for the safe play on Roche, and now they're going to lose Roche on themselves. RSG go in, damage output is there from MKS. Can be a secondary life up on our Terrorblade potentially coming through here. And T1 just can't play. We haven't seen a single Black Hole out from Cuckoo. Again, it's a tough game for the Enigma. But that's the brunt of their team fight outside of maybe Gale Force and a good Avalanche Toss and Shackle. That is your biggest, widest, most threatening AoE spell. and they can't use it. Blink still being saved up for Cuckoo, BKB, Lincoln still a mile off after that as well. And I think for T1, they've got to be able to just take these pickoffs and go for objectives and keep trying to get that build-up they need on Gabby. Like, the Blink Deso is big. He can rip something like the Leshrac to shreds, but they need some spell immunity on hand, and none of their cores are really close to that just yet.
They certainly are not. RSG still the ones in the lead here with a 5k net worth lead. KS happy, just holding on to that Aegis. We've seen TAs multiple times today, John, and if they do fall behind, they don't tend to perform very well. Down towards the bot lane, though, XE Learn very far forward. Xiao Bon Bon right behind him with the Winter's Curse to try and save, if necessary, in T1. They do not make the jump in. They're not confident. I don't believe they actually saw the Winter Wyvern either. They just thought that somebody might be behind him. They won't go for the jump.
They respect it. I think that's the safe play. I think T1 right now understands that they could maybe try to trudge on for a bit of a later part of the game, try to get at least some early BKBs before they force any major commitment. That is giving MKS still the room down mid. It's only Cuckoo holding his lane. Midnight Pulse can slow down the progress of the push. Does not really stop MKS from just doing what he wants here. So he will just trudge out. No Metamorphosis for half a minute.
They at least found the Wyvern. But they are going to trade a mid-tier 2 for that. It doesn't seem very worthwhile for T1.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They leave Cuckoo alone to try to defend that. No one else to help him out. And MKS just gets to rip at it along with XLearn. Only one outer tower left. Sapphire.
Zephyr gonna get caught. Rolling Thunder is there from Xiao Yu, and he's got the perfect kind of situation where he can just keep connecting the stun. Very nice from Xiao Yu. RSG, they're looking much like that game 1 RSG we saw, John. T1, sadly, also looking like that team we saw in game 1 as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a massive kill. Zephyr had a 6 times kill streak, so 600 gold going to Xiao Yu all by himself. He was bottom network core. Now he's above at least 2 T1 cores. Go for the defense.
Oh, Carl. Getting caught by Roger, and XE Learn happily takes him out. Carl just cannot survive the onslaught from this Leshrac. Even with the Yule Scepter up, it's just too much.
It's not quite there yet. I mean, he can use it defensively, but Leshrac does have counterplay for that. He can just wait and get split right off, and even all the control, all of the chaining together from the side of RSG would lift into the stun. They still have the Aegis for 2 minutes as well. They just go high ground.
He's found Cuckoo on the Enigma. There's going to be no black hole. He's got buyback available. MKS, does he want to keep going? He'll sunder Xiao Bon Bon. Nice initiation from Whitemon, but there's no follow-up to it. Instead, T1 just trying to prep for the defense. They don't want to fight into this Metamorphosis right now. Not into the Aegis either, but they've got no choice in the matter. Carl, he's going to try to jump in, but has to jump right back out. MKS in the meantime, he'll find the mid-racks, surely. As T1, they are still trying to hold this poke and prod at this Terrorblade, but he's still fine. Gabby instead going to jump on Roger, does at least find the Rubik, but look at the damage output. Winter's Curse is out. MKS, he's got time to try and go after this TA, but Carl is going to hold him back. Gabby trying to find a way out, but the BKB's worn off. MKS going to rush right in. They take the kill with Xiao Yu. They might find the Aegis, and they will, but they got so much out of this mid-team fight. RSG, one step closer to taking game number 3 in the whole series altogether. T1, they've got a lot of work to do in this game, John.
Yeah, they have a lot to try to hold out, and we saw them do some great holds in game 1. Let's see if they can pull that off here, but RSG aren't backing off. They recognize that the Enigma might be a threat. We've got the tools to handle it. It's very difficult for Cuckoo to commit any sort of black hole, though.
Carl trying his best to slow this down as best as possible. There goes another top tier 3 tower. Aegis not up, so they are going to have to back off. They'll respect T1 and their draft, as Carl is going to go for a bit of a chase, but he's going to be very cautious. Just not safe at the moment. And Cuckoo, realizing he can't go straight into like an Octarine core, Does end up picking up the blink now. But T1, they have been punished heavily.
I mean, they have not much to work on under high ground
Dire's
anymore.
top
They're
barracks are
always
under
going to have to
attack.
respond to the top aggression, the top shove in. So someone's always got to be able to watch that base. They still need more build-up here on Carl, working towards the Ags. Does have Kai Sanj. Does have a little bit more durability and damage on hand here. And Gabby has already shown that BKB. He needs more. It just doesn't feel like he can burst the big ears fast enough. So RSG are going for a smoke, but so is T1.
XE Learn being caught out. That'll be a big pickoff if T1 can find it. They're going to try, but the Bloodstone is there. XE Learn surviving. Is now RSG coming in from the backside. Big Winter's Curse out. It's going to buy a bit of time at the Black Hole. Is there Cuckoo trying to save the day? XE Learn. He does finally end up dropping. MKS though moving in, trying to find Gabby. But where's the detection? Gabby's fine. T1, they're backing their way out successfully. At least for now. Carl might eventually get caught out. Gabby is still sitting in the meld strike. He has not moved. I guess they're going to creep skip this one. I can't believe he hasn't been caught. Meanwhile, Zephyr still dragging this out quite a bit, making sure that MKS cannot hit the T2 tower, but now Carl is going to get caught. They just don't have the disable yet, so MKS still will be chased down. Jean Bon does end up going down. There's now, well, the TB, he's going to be all right, but no, not for long. They got Carl, but they lose MKS. There's Roger's going to drop to
Dire's
boot.
top barracks are under
T1
attack.
making the defense work now. So they get a 1-for-4 trade. RSG, the one's going a bit too far.
Dire's
I
top
mean,
barracks are under
They've
attack.
managed to get the blink cancel with a Wraith Pack walking through, but they never got the vision down. Just they had the wards, they had these dust up on Roger to just figure that Gabby was long gone, and they get punished. Good flank around, catching a Winter Wyvern in the back. There was no Winter's
Dire's
Curse, but
middle
threat of
tower
the
is
heal.
under attack.
Presence coming out with the Arctic Burn is still big for RSG's end, and T1 gets to drag this game on a little bit longer. Still an 8k lead for RSG. Gabby though still catching up, working onto the Lincolns next to block that Winter's Curse. And Cuckoo now finally going for Lincolns. So gonna have some defense up in the middle of these black holes. Did manage to get his first black hole. Very impactful with the Gale Force on top of it. And leading to those set of events. So as this game does scale on, T1 does get more tools to play with. This is Enigma dragging into, you know, the early parts of the late game. This is a TA. This is a Void Spirit who's going to go for Ags. There's a lot RSG will have to watch out for, and they start to get constrained by when MKS can fight. You know, it's all going to be tied into that metamorphosis here on the TV. And if it's
Dire are
down,
scanning.
it just feels like RSG might not be able to come in. Excelern's still fairly tanky on that Lesh, and he can still dish out a lot of damage in the middle of it. You do still have to respect T1's power. They've still got some on hand, and they can still punish you for overextending.
Well, it seems like they're waiting for Roshan right now here, RSG. T1 will be in a position to fight. They'll have Black Hole back up in 20 seconds here for Cuckoo, so the blink up. They should have no problems trying to force the fight in the Roshan pit. Still very hard to find a decent Black Hole in this kind of game, with so many ways to cancel it. No BKB, no Lincolns yet for Cuckoo. He's got some spider legs though, that'll help. At least with the initiation. It's RSG grouping up in the mid lane, hoping to find themselves a pick off as Carl. He's gonna be around on the Void Spirit. Is this bait though? Carl surely is not running through the mid lane on purpose. So they are gonna smoke up. Smoke broken immediately. Carl, he's gonna get lifted up. He hasn't realized yet. They stun him up. Can they burst him down? Whitemon trying to save it. The Rolling Thunder. It connected in time. Carl still gonna be able to step out though. Is gonna survive the initial onslaught. Towards the left side, Gabby. He's a much bigger target, but he's found Zhao Bon. Now with the TP out, he's been bashed up. Oh, Zhao, you had a basher. That's a massive kill for the side of RSG.
Yeah, they've had that for a while. They canceled the Black Hole a while ago with that Basher as well in the Swash. And Gabby's gone without buyback. This could lead to another high ground push. RSG opting to go for that instead of something like a Roshan. Metamorphosis, not the longest time in the world left for MKS, but we've seen this before. He does still do substantial damage to towers if he's allowed to.
Jump in from Carl. Oh, XE Learn. He's caught the Void Spirit already.
Dire's structures
Carl
are
is going to be okay. Sunder from MKS keeping him alive and well to keep going for this fight. As Carl continues to chip away at XE Learn. He's unable to find the kills he's looking for so far, but he is definitely chipping away at the HP pools of RSG. He's going to jump in again onto XE Learn, but has he gone too far? Whitemon is there to try and help out, but he's going to sacrifice his own life as now Xiao Yu does catch out the Void Spirit. Carl, he can't afford to die right now. You'll Scepter out. Ash will step in 1 second. He needs it right now, though, and it's not going to be enough.
Dire's top
Carl's
barracks
down.
are tapped.
He has buyback. He may need to commit it as they've lost their second lane of barracks, and now RSG, they want to die for more. Reflection is there, MKS doesn't have the metamorphosis. Cuckoo has the black hole but gets silenced up, but he does get towards that fountain. He is going to survive another day. 1 lane of barracks left here for RSG. T1, when things are getting desperate, they're going to jump in. Gabby is there. Winter's Curse does save. Gabby gonna get turned on. There's your Sunder. MKS, he's got the reset, the bash out. Gabby's gone. No buyback available for the TA. T1, they're in big trouble now. You've still got the black hole on Cuckoo. RSG, do they not realize there's no buyback? They may not.
Yeah, they back off. They play it safe. They opt to not push as much as they can. They could probably just trek into your force. Especially with that Diabolic Edict. Instead, they will go into the Roche. So they'll still find a big objective. T1 gets to live another day, another fight left for them. And bot racks are ready for the taking, though. No more tier 2 left. Now, Roche doesn't take too long for MKS. Already has a nice casual Chrysalis on hand as well. Damage output is starting to skyrocket, and that secondary life is up now. Free shard to go his way as well. Wonder if he passes it on or just uses it on himself for the Demon Zeal. Does hold on to it for now, but the smoke is out. One last move here in T1. This could be the end, Mike.
It certainly could be. You've got 30 seconds without this TA. They've caught Cuckoo already. That's a massive one. He needs the black hole. He needs to be in the next team fight, but Cuckoo might be gone. And he will be.
Dire's middle tower
Still black hole. Rather, buyback is available with the black hole. They are going to commit it. Gabby up in 10.
Dire's middle
They
tower
can't fight without the TA, but they're losing their tier 4 towers. RSG, they might be able to pull off a massive upset here against T1, who were just at the Stockholm Major. MKS, he's onto the Ancient. Carl's gonna make the jump in, trying to burst him down. Sunder's up, but they can't get through him yet. The TB's still fine. Do they want to just focus the Ancient? It does seem like they do. T1, they're the ones who need to jump in. Cuckoo, that's a massive black hole. He's got 3 of them, but MKS, he's gonna get the Sunder up in time. Gabby, he's gonna drop again. This game's looking very over. The Ancient, it's under siege, and there's no way to defend it. T1, they've dropped the game against RSG. They've lost the series. They have lost the series against RSG. Who would have believed that, Jonathan?
You know, if you asked me at the end of Div 2 Tour 2, I would say, yeah, you know, RSG was going to give a good fight up against the top 2 teams of C. After BTS Pro Series, I think my faith in them got kind of shaken up. It felt like maybe they got figured out, maybe the other teams managed to get their research out, but they proved to us that that was a learning experience for them. Perhaps they just used Pro Series to kind of hammer in their bond, hammer in some tactics, get some practice in, and they show up where it matters here in the DPC. They beat T1. You mentioned this for the last series. You know, having 2 losses is huge. T1, I think, would expect maybe taking a loss out on, you know, one of the top 2 teams, maybe from Boom, maybe from Fnatic. Now they have an additional loss already on the scoreboard from RSG. They can't afford to drop any other series going forward. This is a big deal. We've seen this cause troubles for Boom when they had that. Zach is gonna kill me, but and you know it's gonna kill him too. But when they had those power issues, that gave them the chance to tiebreak for first place, and Fnatic won. And you know it's been a bit shaky for Boom